all these affiliated Ron Paul websites. And as you can see, I showed you on the brochure, they've got the Ron Paul 2012, the official website for Ron Paul, and the Daily Paul and the Ron Paul Forums websites on there. And they've fact-checked and checked all the data on these brochures. They've carefully gone through them to make them as powerful as they could and as precise as they could and as exacting as they could. So you can go to the website and you can have a look at the brochure for yourself. And they've also set it up to where you can purchase these and pass out in your own precincts in your own state. But that's another story.
And regardless, even if Ron Paul doesn't win, which he has a really good chance to, even with all of the election fraud, you're educating people about liberty. You're educating them about what the Constitution is, not what a bunch of Republican pro-torture, warmongering, carbon tax-loving people are saying, not what a bunch of banker-funded, New World Order-funded Obama people. I mean, what about the idiot Occupy Wall Street subgroup protesting Ron Paul? I mean, these people are just absolute idiots.
Those guys have pretty much succeeded in demonizing the First Amendment. I was listening to talk radio today all the way from Fort Worth, Dallas down to Austin, and pretty much the two radio stations, 570 and 590, I heard, they're all talking about, hey, forget about First Amendment. Let's just charge these guys for what they're doing.
It's incredible. Thank you, Richard.
Thank you.
More news coming up. All right, I'm going to go to George and Sean and Steve and Mike and Tim and everybody else that's holding. I really appreciate everybody calling in today. I got Bob Chapman coming up on the economy and a bunch of other news and your calls. We'll take calls the entire time Bob's on pretty much. Just want to get his take quick on the economy. We're running a Christmas special. I know that's politically incorrect, but it is still Christmas, even though that's a thought crime. 18 of my films, really 18 plus, but 18 DVD cases, Follow the Republic, Obama Deception, Dark Secrets, and Side Bohemian Grove, Police State 4, Police State 1, Police State 2, Police State 3, 9/11 Road to Tyranny, Martial Law, America Destroyed by Design. It's all there. $99.95. $99.95. Normally, $359. That's a $259 plus discount. And the small profit we make funds this operation, if you believe in what we're doing. And you also want to get your shopping done in one fell swoop and support us and help give the gift of information to your friends and family. Infowars.com and ask for the Alex Jones Everything Special, or call toll-free 888-253-3139, 888-253-3139. You can also get a 15-day free trial membership at PrisonPlanet.tv and see the nightly news and see all the films and all the expanded extras right now. We've also got a deal where you can get 44% off on a yearly membership. We always do that during November and December. We're running that yearly special right now. So it's all available at Infowars.com or 888-253-3139. You can also write to me, P.O. Box 19549, Austin, Texas, 78760. All right, let's go ahead now and go back to your calls. George in Florida, thanks for holding.
Thanks for having me on, Alex. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving.
It was all right. It was pretty good. Thanks for asking. I hope you did as well.
Yeah, I did as well. Hey, man, listen, more to the point here. You were talking about Ron Paul. I am a lifelong Republican, and basically my friends told me back in 2008 that Ron Paul, I should have voted for Ron Paul. I ignored him and regretted it. And I'll tell you what, and I use this word very carefully here, but I was really in fear when I heard Newt Gingrich give his answer to about how there needs to be two sets of laws. One that, the Bill of Rights and the Constitution only applies to stealing and, robbery and theft and murder. But, terrorism is a totally different animal. And because they now, under Patriot Act, are charging people for marijuana with it and waiving their Bill of Rights and Constitution. And I have even the ACLU out today. Senators demand Americans be locked up for any reason, and the battlefield is considered your streets anywhere. Anybody can be arrested without trial by the Army. Well, the Army admits they're preparing to, quote, pull triggers on the American people. That was in Stars and Stripes 3 years ago. Remember that? Yeah, I sure do. And the thing about it, Alex, is if anything that I could fault Ron Paul on is he actually understates the threat. He really, and I know he's not pulling punches and he's real polite and everything, but he I mean, this is not meant to say, you know, I'm going to support him no matter what. I mean, this, but the only other point that I was going to move on to was about the banking system. I have a graduate degree in finance. And one of the things they teach you, Alex, in that program, as you're probably well aware, and you talk to other people like me, is that they teach you central banking is good. And the light started to come on for me whenever I realized, like, the bank that's in Switzerland, the BIS, and that is basically the central bank of all central banks. And that's when I started realizing this was nothing but a fraud, nothing but, you know, this is, and I brought that up to my professors then, and they told me this. They told me not to go there. They told me not to talk about it. They told me not to, and to leave it alone. And
exactly. Stay there. I want to come back to you. They told you not to stay in the matrix, to stay in the bubble. Don't get outside the box. We're going to get to Sean here in a moment. First, we got to get to Steve and others. We'll take calls while Bob Chapman's on with us, breaking down all the big developments in the economy. MF Global, the Euro, the open announcement of Bank of the World, what that means, what the next phase will be. But finishing up with George in Florida, he was getting his graduate degree in finance, and I've talked to people who've done this, and the same thing happens. In fact, they have specialized schools, if you get into upper management, where you then go to private groups, even above the School of Economics in London, where you're then taught how things really work. And it's all very simple. It's all hidden in plain view, but you're just not told about it. And so George was saying, he brought up the big mega central banks, how they control it all, how there was a level above what was being taught, and he was called aside and told, do not go there. Do not bring this up. See, when you break through, like in the Truman Show, and go, whoa, you mean I'm in a controlled, limited reality, an artificial habitat? I mean, that's what it is. It's like, aren't you into the... I was on the trip, and we went on a horseback ride, and the guy was real nice. But he was like, how about them Cowboys? You like the Cowboys? And I said, not really. And he went, oh, man, I'm a big fan. Wow. And I said, it's not that I dislike the Cowboys. It's that I've broken with it. I can't get excited about something that's meant to be a distraction. Do you understand that? And he didn't understand. I mean, when you figure out that your life is not your own and it's controlled and false, and you see the authoritarianism growing by design, you want to stop it. And now they're just like, yeah, let's get rid of the Bill of Rights and Constitution. Just 5 years ago, they'd be like, we're not getting rid of that. Now it's like, yeah, we are getting rid of it. It's bad. You see videos of cops going, I don't want to hear about the Constitution. Taser, bzz. Judges saying it. Judges ruling the Constitution is not admissible in this courtroom. I mean, these are criminals. People are like, I can't believe they're doing it. Of course they're doing it. It's a takeover. They've got to. They're all going to prison if they don't. You got it? They're not going to back off. They're trying to take us down. We're not playing patty cake here. Patty cake, baker's man. Roll them up, put them in the pan. Mark them and prick them, put a bee, put it in the oven for baby and me. We're not playing nursery rhyme here. You can't be told. You just got to experience it, some of you. And don't worry, you will. And that's when we're going to win. George in Florida, you're on the air. Go ahead. I know, I'm going back to George. Go ahead and finish up your point.
Yeah, sure. I'll finish it, Alex. Basically, the thing that I was going to, like, the thing you talk about is that walking around in a daze. And when I talk to my friends, it's like this strong delusion has just been falling over people. But slowly but surely, there are people waking up.
Yes.
The last point that I do, man, and I say this, is that, man, I pray for their delusion, confusion, and ultimately their destruction. Thanks for taking my call.
I appreciate it, George. Yeah, people are under a grand delusion. Steve in Michigan, go ahead.
Yes, hi, Alex.
Hi.
I've been waiting for 2.5 years to talk to you. I've just recently graduated from mass communications journalism school, so I understand all the manipulations of the mass media. I'm not going to wait on anybody to help me do my job for me. I know what needs to be done. They need to be exposed. I'm trying to get that done, but I'm just me.
All right, I'll tell you how to get an audience of 1 million people a week right now. You want to know how to have an audience of 1 million people a week within 1 year? You want to hear, Sean, how to get 1 million? Or no, Steve in Michigan. Steve in Michigan, you want to know how to get 1 million listeners a week within 1 year guaranteed?
Yes, I do. And I have a question also.
Well, I'm going to finish up with you and then go to Bob Chapman, who we just got on the line. We'll be right back after this quick break. Stay with us. Okay, we will continue with your calls with Bob Chapman, the international forecaster. We're going to look at the economy, look at MF Global. We haven't gotten Bob's take since this broke in the last few weeks, since he wasn't with us last Friday. We're going to go to Bob here in just a moment, get into the whole Syria situation with Russian and, quote, U.S. The U.S. is bankster. Bankster-controlled U.S. ships, bankster-occupied America ships. Literally, it's occupied America facing off with the crony Russian system, another mafia, but not as powerful or as sophisticated, therefore not as big a threat, over the new peacekeeping bombing that the loving West wants to do in Syria, because they care so much about humanitarian things, of course. That's why they met in Egypt while they're machine gunning crowds to talk about the rumors about the Syrians might have abused a butterfly or something. Just all hypocrisy, just not even a veil of cover-up. They just do it all out in the open now with the hyper-hypocrisy on display. But Steve in Michigan called in, and Steve was getting into, he's graduated with his RTF communications degree, and he was talking about how he's not going to wait, he wants to reach out to people. He had a question. And I don't know what his question is. I haven't gotten to him yet. But I said, Steve, let me tell you how to have 1 million viewers a week right now. It'll take a year, but you will have 1 million viewers a week. 1 million viewers a week on YouTube. And I've got hundreds of ideas like this that guaranteed I have beta tested in my brain by testing other systems that I haven't even implemented yet. Okay? Now, let me tell you, and I've already tested this idea out and not done it because I'm too busy. I've already talked to local former rodeo star, first talked to his brother. They've got the big ranch to do it on. They're interested, and then I got too busy and didn't do it. And I told them 10 million viewers a week conservatively in 1 year. That's if I was doing it. But it would be a whole other division that they would be the host of, the stars of. People say, well, why not go straight to TV? Well, there's a bigger audience online, and you don't have to mess with the limited slots on TV. There's all this fake prestige goes with it. You know, some reality show person has 3 million viewers a week. They're big mega stars. That's the system trying to prop itself up. You get 3 million viewers a week on YouTube, you're nobody. Now, I'm going to go to Bob Chapman here, but I'm going to finish up with Steve briefly. Okay, here's the big idea for everybody out there. Okay? And quite frankly, you can't even oversaturate this, because it'll just sell the culture of liberty. I've run into all these talk show hosts over the years who would literally bend over backwards to try to make